lot of medical studies that come out each day, but how do you know what is junk science and what you should actually take to heart? Luckily, we have a little help with that. Our favorite MD with the greatest accent ever, it is Dr. Rosie Chauhan. Dr. Chauhan, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Now, all right, Rosie, this first study that is trending today is a study on social media. It found that too much social media use is linked to mental health issues in teens. And so I find this particularly interesting as I read a letter today from a mother who is having problems with a child with the mental illness, actually. And she believes that the slipping in and out of reality from video games to social media, that you actually communicate with other people on, things like that has distorted his expectations for life because he spent so much time in social media. So, do I need to keep my kids off social media, Dr. Rosie?
I think that even if you wanted to, I don't think it's possible, actually. It's hard to reverse technology and moving forward. But what you described could actually be possible. But the study that we're looking at today basically said that there isn't necessarily a causality between social media and psychiatric disease. It could be that the kids are depressed from the onset, and basically that could apply to any psychiatric disease illness. And they themselves then spend more time on social media because they need to seek interaction and distract themselves from their current situation, which is causing, let's say, the depression. But, social media, I think it's widely agreed that it does promote a lack of social skills and awareness and a decreased ability to have normal relationships, which may be in itself a risk factor for poorer mental health.
Yeah, that's why my husband got me a little sticker and it says, "I love my computer, my friends live in it." And it's kind of true. Another groundbreaking study just released says that alcohol consumption, smoking, and obesity is bad for your brain, particularly bad. Do we really need a study to tell us this?
Probably not. It's just more information, really. I mean, they specifically referred to these metabolic issues and habits causing lower volumes of certain parts of the brain that are involved in cognition, and they predicted an onset of cognitive impairment and mild dementia some years later. So it just reiterates the fact that we need to adopt a healthy lifestyle.
A study was actually done on the pharmaceutical industry. Drug companies have been failing to disclose some very dangerous side effects of some of their pharmaceuticals. What's the story?
Well, basically, there's been a study that showed 10% of serious adverse events were reported late after the 15-day guideline outlined by the FDA by pharmaceutical companies. And just to reiterate, serious adverse events include death and hospitalization and perhaps even a loss of limb. And the authors suggested that the FDA may not be enforcing its guidelines because the onus is on them rather than the company, of course.
I see. All right, another new study says that eating for two is not necessary during pregnancy. That could be why I gained so much weight. I thought just eat double.
Touche. I would just say that, yeah, so there was a study in fruit flies, and apparently fruit flies have a lot of commonality in terms of genes with humans, believe it or not. But they found something called a juvenile hormone, which is produced in pregnancy that increases the amount of energy absorbed by the intestines for the same amount of food. So, and it also may explain why it's hard to lose weight after pregnancy, as the intestines are now more efficient.
Interesting. Another study says that you need to get more friends, that having few friends is as bad for you as smoking. Is that true?
Well, there's been an ongoing study from the 1970s collecting diary entries from young adults in their 20s. And they found, looking at all this information, that people who, the young adults who had a larger pool of diverse friends tended to be more successful in life. And conversely, that people who didn't tend to have a higher mortality, more so than smoking.
All right, now I thought coffee was good for you. I'm a very loyal coffee drinker, but a study today says that coffee consumption is linked to cognitive impairment. Rosie, say it ain't so.
It ain't so. Basically, moderation is the key word here in this study. They found that drinking moderate amounts of coffee, which they classed as 1 to 2 cups per day, decreased the risk of cognitive impairment, which is the early form of Alzheimer's, something that can lead to Alzheimer's, versus no coffee drinking or too much coffee, which they classed as 2 cups a day. So something in the middle. So drink 1 to 2 a day and you'll be doing well.
All right. Another study came out about pot, and it says that broken bones can be healed more quickly with pot. So I just can't even imagine the deductions you could make from that, but I'm not going to go there.
I figured you wouldn't.
Yeah. So what do we do about that?
Nothing. I think it's just another observation to be gathered. I mean, this study was done in rats. It's an animal study. So I'm not saying it's to be disregarded, but it's just to continue carrying on collecting information. And basically, they found that rats who received a cannabis derivative, it's the non-psychoactive derivative, increased the rate of healing of the bone fractures, and the quality of the bone was apparently better. Also of note, increased the amount of collagen production in the connective tissue. So apparently there were numerous effects that basically increased bone healing.
I can just see all the people breaking out the pot brownies now in the emergency room. All right, thank you so much for being with us, Dr. Rosie Chauhan. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
All right.